get more on our top story in the cessation of hostilities in Syria. I'm joined by Borzou Daragahi, the Middle East correspondent for BuzzFeed News. Borzou, good to have you with us. So, the cessation has begun, and it seems to be holding for now.
It is largely holding, at least as far as airstrikes are concerned, especially the devastating airstrikes by the Russian armed forces. Those appear to have come to a halt. There are some reports of breaches, and of course, ISIS, Daesh, is not party to this ceasefire, and it has been apparently on the move in northern Syria. But look, really, we got to give a little bit of credit here to U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry. A lot of people were very skeptical about whether this ceasefire would hold, whether it works, whether it would work, and it appears that John Kerry's attempts at quiet diplomacy have yielded some fruit. Many people will say this is no big deal, but you got to think of those millions of people living in Syria, living under barrel bombs, living under Russian airstrikes, huge weapons hitting their homes and neighborhoods. For them, this is a gift, really, even if a temporary one.
Absolutely, and incremental steps, but a step nonetheless. Now, just on John Kerry and on the ceasefire, I mean, do we seem to be seeing that Assad will stay in power for the foreseeable for now?
Well, absolutely. It looks like he will stay in power for the foreseeable future. It doesn't mean that he will remain in power at the end of any hypothetical peace agreement. As a matter of fact, Turkey and other countries have said that that is out of the question, that Assad would remain in power. But it does appear that, with the support of the Russians and the allied Iranian forces, and with their political support, with Russia and China's clout on the Security Council, getting rid of Bashar al-Assad, removing him from power because of all of his crimes over the last few years, it's going to take a while and a lot more effort.
Do you see the focus now going on to Daesh and other terrorist groups in the country? Then if they get a cessation of hostilities between the opposition and the Syrian regime, they can focus on those groups?
Sadly, I don't see that happening. I see at some point these little minuscule sort of transgressions of the ceasefire that you're seeing today. I see those escalating, and I see a resumption of the fighting for the foreseeable future. Why? Because every single party in this conflict sees it as an existential quest and sees it as the other side winning as not acceptable. So in those sorts of circumstances, wars tend to drag on.
Absolutely. I mean, who do you see benefiting from the cessation of hostilities at the moment?
Obviously, just the Syrian people, ordinary Syrian civilians, children, women, ordinary people who have been just bombarded with various types of ammunition and munitions for years now, getting a little bit of a respite, a little bit of a chance to breathe, to get in touch with relatives, gather some supplies. That's who I see benefiting from this.
Well, Borzou, great to have you with. We're going to leave it there, but thank you so much for coming in.